What's up, PMC type people? It's your boy Burb here, coach of your New South Wales, bringing you week 2 of the PMC against Omega V, coach of the Colorado Rapidash and reigning PMC champion. Before jumping into team preview, there are a few shoutouts to be made. It wouldn't be a Burb video without a few shoutouts. Firstly, I wish I could say that I got the idea of these layout all by myself and my own creative genius. However, I'm a bit of a plagiarist. Don't worry though, there will be a reference list in the description, but I did steal this from my very good friend Koz. If you haven't already checked out Koz, please do, especially his ADV battle series, where you'll notice that there's a very similar theme to this one. Secondly, I wish I could breed Pokemon very quickly, but unfortunately with my intense autism I cannot. That's why it helps to have really good friends. Sometimes friends who, even while away, still know the importance of staying true to their roots, being a Rapdos, who bred my team very quickly and put up with me being even more of an autist as I traded him a Boulder. The good thing is, even when we're not battling, we learn things for week 3. Like for example, what Pokemon not to trade your Jenna. Things like Machoke, Girder, Boulder, Kadabra, Haunter, and I can't be bothered to list off the rest. Thirdly, this battle is in Citra quality only because of my great friend Aaron2420. His Webley will be in the description if you are interested in his Citra services. They do come with a small fee, however I think that's an absolute steal. Don't be a $5 Patreon to Burb, be a $5 Patreon to get your monthly Citra battles done. Ooh, they look fresh. Before we get into this battle, let me go over the team that we are bringing. We have Mixed Kommo with Rocks, Leech Seed, 2 attacks Shaman, Mixed Lando T with Iapapa Berry, AV Slowking with Future Sight, Z Electric Terrain Xurkitree, 3 attacks Mega Scizor. If you guys want to know more about the team, please check the team builder in the description below. Each week I will be taking you through a more in-depth look at the team. But for this week, this video, every week that we have a match, we will not be spending time because the match is a more important thing. Before we get into this match, there's 3 important things I noted. 1, his hazard control is Zapdos and Mega Blastoise, so he only has default or Rapid Spin. When I thought about this, I was like, okay, this is actually very nice for me because Xurkitree blows back both of them. Secondly, I noticed that he did not bring his Diggersby, which meant that he did not have a Xurkitree switch in, bar Assault Vest Regice, which I did predict to come. And that was this game as well. And third, I think that once I get rid of that Regice, Xurkitree is really going to go ham. And when I just was debating upon a lead for this game, I decided that Kommo was definitely the best lead. Mimikyu was the only unfavorable lead for my Kommo, and that's why I decided, let's go Kommo! First turn, I decided Toxic on this Zapdos because the only switch into Toxic is Kartana, and Kartana does not want to switch into Kommo. Even if I was like a Lumberry or DD set, it was going to be very nice to get up essentially 3 rocks. On the second turn, as we Toxic with the Zapdos, a crit turn 1, and the inevitable question of why do I play Pokemon was answered of I love hacks. So we get the lefties back, and we see the Zapdos take that little bit of poison damage, that just a bit, just a tip, as some women would prefer. Next turn we get paralyzed, which sort of makes a slight difference in the battle, nothing overarching, but the main important thing is we get up our rocks. This next turn, I decide that let's go for rocks if it's Defog Zapdos, because that was the sneaky suspicion. However, by the way that he will switch out in this turn with Zapdos, not clicking Volt Switch, I think maybe Mega Blastoise is his hazard removal as he goes into the Trishalua as I go for rocks, but I do get paralyzed, and this is the turn where the paralysis makes a little bit of a difference. I was going to go for Drain Punch here, which would do a million to Regice, and I was like, okay, and rocks, and paralysis. Icy Wind comes off, and it does big damage to my Kommo. I was like, well, Kommo is definitely going to be sack fodder, and it does have some use still in this match. Like, it can come back in on Regice. However, I do have a safe switch into my Slowking, which I'm going to go into here on the predicted second Icy Wind or T-Bolt or whatever I want to go for, and it does go for a second Icy Wind. Slowking does take that hit very nicely, and that did negligible damage. I'm going to click Future Sight this turn because I really want to pressure this Regice and give it a few turns and then go, right, well, let's kill it off. It also covered the Mimikyu switch in and also the Kartana, because Kartana last week was Sash, and I thought Sash Kartana could come again, but also as well it breaks Mimikyu's disguise, as we just go for Psyshock this turn. There's no reason not to, just to put a little bit more chip down on that Regice. We switch out here. I'm going into my Mega Sizz essentially. Mega Sizz is a nice pivot this game, however I don't think it's going to be my Kartana check because of the damage that we take from this T-Bolt, but Future Sight does take the hit this turn, and I know now that U-turn is essentially free and I can go out hard into my Shaman, or pivot into my Shaman essentially, because no matter what a Mega V brings in, I can go for Protect to Scout, and Mega Sizzle is going to take the first kill of the New South Wales season. Whoop, whoop, whoop. With a crit as well. Lucky players, am I right, boys and girls? So much hate. I don't know if that crit mattered, but it is Mega Sizzle. It did. I'm very sorry, Omega. It goes out into the Arcanine here, and as mentioned before, I'm just going to protect on the Arcanine. I know that with this turn, we're just going to scout out what this Arcanine is. I was potentially worried about a banded set because I don't have the best fire resist, and Arcanine does nothing. Beautiful, good job, Shaman. You did it like a champ. You just wasted a turn and sat there. I pivot into my Slow King here because I know that no matter what move he goes for besides Wild Charge, I can essentially heal back HP before then pivoting out into my Landorus Therian, because I thought the odds of Mega having HP Ice were very low, because I think that Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, Wild Charge, Morning Sun would be the set, or Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Toxic would be the set, and Lando comes in for free here just to get that little bit of Intimidate annoyance off. And this turn, it was sort of a misplay in looking back at it to an extent. However, I thought that Earth Power was probably the best play. 5 Pokemon, 1 Pokemon resists ground, being the Zapdos. And I know that with the E-Power, I am going to do nothing, but it means that next turn I'm free to go out into the Shaman again, because I thought, well, this Zapdos does not have Defog. I was wrong, as we do see the Defog click this turn, but I know my Shaman is a good little boy, or a good little genderless thing. I don't know what gender Shaman is, I don't want to assume it, even though it's 2018. There is no reason for me not just to click Seed Flare this turn, because no matter what Omega tries to switch into here, it's going to do a big chunk of damage, and Kartana does come in, probably predicting the Leech Seed. I don't know what she decided to find out, but we do miss. However, I know that Shaman is probably my best Kartana check, so I'm going to just go for E-Power here, because 2 E-Power picks off the Kartana, and also as well, I did not want to let him set up a SD with his Kartana. And we do see the second attack go for Kartana as he sacks it off to the Shaman, and Shaman's done a really nice job this game. It really helped just whittle down. It did its main job, beating the Kartana. We take the lead of 6-4, which is very good. It brings back in the Zapdos. Now, this was an interesting play. I decided to go for Seed Flare here because in case he goes for the Roost or tries to go pivot, I just wanted to get damage off and play the aggressive. I could have protected that turn to get a little bit more poison damage off, however, I thought that the risk versus reward was not negligible. We bring in Thunder here, my Xurkitree, and as I said earlier, once the Xurkitree comes in without Regice go there to protect it, T-Bolt goes ham. We get 1 kill with it, Thunder! And I calced the Mimikyu Z-move against my Xurkitree, a +2, and realized that I want a Thunderbolt to break the disguise before going into Lando. However, Xurkitree is too valuable this game to sack off to potentially let Snuggle forever, whereas Landorus has sort of run its course, and once the disguise is broken, Mega Sizz can easily revenge kill this Mimikyu. And this is another sort of 50-50 that I got right, as the Mimikyu, don't put poison on Mimikyu's shoulder, it'll kill itself. As we just go into Techno here, the big boy himself. I do like that behind view of the Landorus, that is interesting. Ooh, Shadow Claw comes in here, and I'm like, okay, this is alright. We have the Hyper Papa Berry, we can take another one and then get back 50%. So we can effectively pick off this Mimikyu here with 2 E-Powers, as Zapdos is gone, and there is no real ground resist now, which is perfect. I love it when a plan comes together. Earth Power reveals that we can two-shot Mimikyu, and I don't see a reason not to. We take the second Shadow Claw, E-Power again. Now we essentially take the... This is where I know the game is essentially wrapped up, because Xurkitree beats his last 2 mons no matter what, as we saw. Provided that we sack Landorus here, which I am going to sack Landorus because Grass Knot on the Megastoise was a deal made with Aaron 2420. So we see the big Megastoise. Fat Boy Slim. You need to lose weight, Mega Blastoise, because this Grass Knot does a shit ton. It was a crit. You know, lucky and bad. That's the motto I live by. As the Skull does pick off the Landorus. So Techno, not used to dying or taking L's, but this time he has to. And now my boy Thunder, he is going to come back in and essentially clean up with a T-Bolt and a Z Thunderbolt. And to finish off on this note, question of the day. What do you think of the layout, and should we persist with it, or do you want to see something more like what CJ's done with like the sidebar? Because I really like the idea of Koz's ADV sprites, but however, I want to see what your feedback was. And also, what do you think this game's MVP was? I definitely think that as much as Xurkitree put in the work and bopped some people, I think Landorus did a really nice job, and it really limited Omega V this game, and that's why I'm going to give this week's MVP to the Landorus, as we do see the Gigavolt Havoc go ham to finish off. Big boy swinging. You know, big boy's Thundino swinging with his a big electric thing coming out of the tentacle. Guess that's like similar to Hentai, but I don't know, I don't watch that stuff. Regular. And that is the end of the battle. Until next time, peace.